Welcome to Thorold City Council. First on our agenda, councilors, are there any conflicts of interest? Thank you. We'll move on to our minutes. Minutes of the regular council meeting held on October 17, 2017. Councilor Sharon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, second by Councilor Ugolini, that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on October the 17th, 2017 be received and adopted.
Thank you. Are there any items for discussion? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? Councilor Whalen, did you have a question? Something?
No, just
okay.
a motion.
You were fast with the hand. Okay. Thank you. I'll call a question. All those in favor?
Sorry,
opposed? That's carried. Minutes of the special council meeting held on October 17, 2017. Councilor Whalen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, second by Councilor Sharon, that the minutes of the special council meeting held on October 17th, 2017 be received and adopted.
Thank you, Councilor. Are there any items for discussion in these minutes? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We do not have any presentations tonight. We have one delegate. Victoria Wickstone, General Manager, Niagara Music Festival. And she's going to give us an update of the Niagara Music Festival held on September 24th to October 1st. And provide information for events in 2018. Can you state your name, please?
My name is Todd Brown, and this is Cooper Smith. And Victoria is not with us. She's actually receiving an Attractions Ontario award tonight for the top performing theater in Ontario.
That's fantastic.
Excited
Congratulate her from our council.
So we formally wanted to introduce you to the Niagara Music Awards. The Niagara Music Awards have been happening for 10 years. We just had the 10th anniversary in September, as you mentioned. And the Niagara Music Awards is a multicultural event. It's a diverse organization that recognizes 25 different genres on an annual basis. So we recognize rock, jazz, blues, female vocalists, male vocalists, et cetera, and anyone who lives in the Niagara region is eligible to participate. There's no cost for them to participate. So our vision is driven by an initiative which is put on by Music Canada. So Music Canada is pushing this initiative out throughout Canada through the Chambers of Commerce, and it's called Music City, and it's to build industry and tourism, economic development through the power of music and entertainment. So we are the group here that's representing Music Canada through that initiative, and we call it Music Region here because we don't want to just represent one city, we want to represent ourselves as a region. So some of the things that are happening with Niagara Music Week. So 10 years of Niagara Music Awards this year became Niagara Music Week. So the week was made up of 3 pillars: a music festival, musical and entertainment events, and educational showcases throughout the week, and then of course the red carpet gala event, which we call Niagara Music Awards. So we just have some highlights. We did some of the Canada Day celebrations in the different cities. And then the awards ceremony itself. So we bring everybody down. It's a red carpet gala. We have mostly musicians. We have celebrities. We've had Dead Mouse at the show. We've had I Mother Earth at the show. The list goes on. It's a sold-out event that we did at the Greg Freeman Theatre. We have 12 live performances during the evening. So it's very packed. It's about a 3-hour event. And of course, our friends at Your TV were there and gave us phenomenal coverage. So if you haven't seen it, you can check it out there. And we give away these beautiful awards to 25 different people. There's usually about 5 to 7 nominees in each category. And these are some of our guests. So the showcases themselves ran through the week. This year we did 8 showcases. We had a sold-out event at the Hard Rock Cafe in Niagara Falls. We did a wonderful event in collaboration with the Canal Bank Shuffle organization here in Thorold at Donnelly's. We had an acoustic night in Grimsby. We had a symposium at the PAC in St. Catharines. This was a number of well-versed and well-renowned celebrities that participated to help people in Niagara who want to be in the music and entertainment industry understand how do you get into the industry, what is it to be in the industry, how do I expand my business and move it outside of Niagara and into the world. So how do I reach that population? And we had people like Thomas Salter. If you haven't heard of him, he's right here in Niagara, produces Josh Groban, Lights, Walk Off the Earth, etc. Friday we did a country night, and we had also a punk rock showcase. So we, as I explained, we have a lot of diversity, and we want to showcase all the different genres. The festival itself this year was Feast Street, which was held in Welland. It was the resurrection of the food festival, if you're not familiar. And we had 15,000 people attend the festival, and we provided all local Niagara music, which was made up of our winners and nominees. Okay, and we're really proud of the space that we live online. And I have Cooper Smith with me here, who's much smarter than I am when it comes to tech. He's going to explain to you all of our numbers and how we live online, what that means.
Good evening, Your Worship. Good evening, Council. My name is Cooper Smith, and I am here with the Niagara Music Awards. Just to give you a brief background of the digital media aspect, in the Niagara region, approximately 480,000 people live in Facebook, whether it be through their private individual accounts and or business accounts, of which 210,000 people were engaged inside the Niagara Music Week leading up to the month of festivities. After that said, our average engagement was over 30,000 people per post that we were doing from our Facebook page, representing almost 30% of the engagement capture. All of that was driven to drive the ticket sales for all of the events, including the culmination of the 15,000 reaching the Feast Street in Welland, but that also allowed us to be a full, sold-out, 600 capacity seat ticket venue at the Greg Fruin Theatre.
Thank you, Cooper. Okay, so all of our organizers, myself included, we are 100% volunteer based. We have nobody who is paid in our organization, so we're all volunteering our time. And we have a number of partnerships both on the organization side and on the corporate side. So just a quick rundown here for you. Music Canada, Music Ontario, we partnered with the Canal Bank Shuffle, Twilight Jazz Festival, the Social Awards, most of the cities and the BIAs in those cities. And of course on the corporate side, we have a number of sponsors that have been involved as well. And we're looking to build new partnerships. So now that we didn't come here and say, here's what we're gonna go do. We came here to tell you what we've already done and then explain to you how successful it was and now the growth that's coming from that and what we see as our vision moving forward. And our dates are already set for 2018, so the festival will happen on September 22nd, 23rd. The showcases will happen throughout the week, and the Red Carpet Gala event will happen on September 30th. Our goals are to partner with additional festivals and organizations throughout the region. So we did some of that already. Now we're already in talks with a number of other festivals like Springalicious in Niagara Falls. We want to promote the nominated and the winning artists. We've secured a location in St. Catharines to do a pop-up studio, which will allow us to live online on an annual basis. So those numbers that Cooper shared with you, we can now, instead of only getting those numbers in season, we can start to leverage those numbers on an annual basis by creating content that's music and entertainment based, because our followers want to see more of that, which helps our sponsors and helps our municipalities that are participating, and of course helps the festivals that have linked themselves to us. So as far as the City of Thorold is concerned, what we're here to do tonight is to please ask you to sanction the Niagara Music Week as an official event that supports arts and culture development for Thorold and for the region of Niagara. We want to work in conjunction with the City of Thorold for possible cultural development fund and financial support. And of course, we'd love if you would promote and personally attend the events. So we're looking to find out who the key person here would be that we would work with to help move this forward.
Who you would work with? I would think our biggest event, and we're very proud of it, is the Canal Bank Shuffle. I think you want to be talking to Mr. Sinnott in the back corner, number one, and Mr. Lidicote. They're they're the folks that organize it, they're the folks that do all the work, and a tremendous amount of work. We're very proud of what they do, so.
Had lengthy conversations
I
with
would
them.
say that's your first link.
Yep.
And
Excellent.
from that, they have all the knowledge of how to, well, if you're looking to work with council and city staff, that's the drift I'm getting.
Yes.
Okay, good question. Who on staff would we have work with you? Certainly not the fire chief. Pardon me? Okay. For one thing, you can apply for a community grant
Okay.
if you're looking for money. You will have to work through our finance department, Ms. Morrow. Who? Oh, sorry.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that's handled through Ginger DeRoshi.
Okay, no problem. She's my assistant. Guess what? It's coming through me. Yeah. Okay, for starters, I'll be working with you, and I'll be your contact here at City Hall to get things organized for you. Ginger will, I'll introduce you to Ginger,
Thank you.
and from there, we'll take it from there. So just, and I have Councilor Ugolini has a question for you.
Yes, no problem.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just looking at your itinerary, and last year you had the gala at the beginning and the festival at the end, correct?
Correct, yes.
So you flip-flopped that this year. My only concern is the weekend you're doing the festival is the weekend in the wine, grape and wine, big weekend, the parade, and
Yep.
so have you looked at that? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, the
That
big
you're gonna
event
be
is the
compete-
Saturday, which we don't have an event on the Saturday, so we launch with the festival, then it's great, it's Niagara Music Week with the showcases. We're actually doing 25 showcases this year, not just the 8, so one for every genre. Then on the Saturday is the Grape and Wine Big Day, and then the Sunday is the red carpet event. And we followed the big day this year as well for a red carpet event, exactly the same order. You're right about the festival though, because of the timing of the festival and the way Grape and Wine was, we had them reversed.
That's right.
But we did still follow the big event and it was not a problem.
Okay.
In fact, we see it as a bonus because there's already so much buzz that's happening in Niagara already, right?
Okay, the deadline for our grants, for applying for grants is the end of November. So I would suggest you give Ginger a call tomorrow.
We will do that, thank you.
She'll help you through it. She'll get you through it.
Okay, and then we'll arrange the same thing through you to see if we can have the city recognize us, sanction us as an official event. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Any other
Oh.
questions? Councillor Hanley has a question for you.
Aye.
Or call order, in order for us to sanction event, wouldn't we have to have a motion on the floor to do what they're requesting?
I don't think so. I think we can just move ahead. They're gathering information,
Okay.
basically, so. Any other questions?
So at this point, what gather information, bring it back.
Yeah, we're just gathering information,
Okay.
then we'll bring it back to council. Any other questions? Seeing none? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much for your time, everyone.
So wait for the screen to go. That's the freshest one? Or this one?
That's it, it's the same.
Okay. I forgot my mayor's report, so I'll do it now. I would like to welcome the newest addition to city staff, Mr. Curtis Dre, as our new manager of community services. Curtis comes to us from the City of Burlington Parks and Recreational Department. His first day will be tomorrow, and I know we all look forward to not only meeting him, but working with him. This Friday, November 10th, the curtain will go up on Thorold Community Theater's fall production, Fantasy by Appointment. Shows sell out quickly, so get your tickets before they are gone. Tickets are $15 per person and are available online at thoroldtheater.ca or by calling 905-682-8779. On Sunday, November 12th at 12 p.m., the Welland Canal Fallen Workers Memorial will be officially unveiled. All members of the public are welcome to attend the commemorative ceremony at the site of the memorial just north of the St. Catharines Museum at Lock 3. This memorial will recognize the 137 men who lost their lives between 1914 and 1932 building the Welland Canal. Also on Sunday, November 12th, the Port Robinson Volunteer Firefighters Association will host their annual Remembrance Day ceremony and community luncheon. The ceremony will begin at 12:30 p.m. with a march from Port Robinson Park to Station Number 3, followed by the laying of the wreaths and also a community luncheon. And lastly, Thorold Legion Branch 17 welcomes everyone to attend the Remembrance Day Parade and Ceremony in Memorial Park at the Cenotaph on Saturday, November 11th at 11 a.m. A color guard will precede the service and laying of the wreaths to honor all of our veterans who selflessly gave their lives to uphold the values and freedoms we are fortunate to have here in Canada. I would encourage everyone to make time this weekend to take your families and attend one of the Remembrance Day ceremonies within our city. We have fewer veterans every year, which makes the need to honor and remember them all the more imperative. And that's my report. And we'll move into communications. Items referred to council. Councilor Pion.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Sharon, that the correspondence received from the town of Fort Erie dated October 11, 2017, requesting Niagara Regional Council to include funding in its 2018 budget for the Community Improvement Program to continue throughout the end of 2018 be received and supported.
Thank you, Councilor Pion. Would anybody like to speak to that? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Items referred to city staff. Councilor Sharon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Ugolini, that the communications on a list of correspondence 5B be received and directed to the indicated staff member.
Thank you, Councilor Sharon. Again, are there any items for discussion? Councilor Ugolini.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I was approached by Laura Gillen and told her the procedure to write a letter and to Mayor and Council. And I did a site visit with Corey Youngblood to look at the situation, and then a follow-up was done, I think, with Sean and Corey, and they looked into the situation. I wonder if, Sean, if you could give an update on what transpired.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. The difficulty with the situation out there is some ditching and trying to get the sidewalk across Allenberg Road to the east side where the school is going to cause some difficulties in trying to continue the flow in the ditches. We're currently looking at some other alternatives in terms of something that would be a little cheaper and easier to do, which might involve moving stop signs out there to create a more controlled access. What we'll do is we'll prepare a design and we'll prepare a report for council to vote on as we move forward.
You okay with that, Councilor? Are any other speakers to the... Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. List of committees, minutes, correspondence from volunteer committees. Counselor Ugolini.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Sharon, that the communications on the list of correspondence 5D, minutes, correspondence from volunteer committees be received for information purposes and filed.
Okay, any items for discussion here? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Reports, correspondence from the region of Niagara. Councilor Longo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Hanley, that the communications on the list of correspondence 5E, reports correspondence from the region of Niagara, be received for information purposes and filed.
Thank you, Councilor. Any items for discussion here? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Items for information purposes, I have Councilor Neal, who has...
I've got it.
Okay, Councilor Ugolini, thank you.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Sharon, that the communications on the list of correspondence 5F be received for information purposes and filed.
Thank you. Are there any items for discussion? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Reports, minutes of general committee meeting held on October 17, 2017. Councilor Hanley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, second by Councilor Longo, the minutes of the general committee meeting held on October 17, 2017 be received and adopted.
Thank you, Councilor.
You're
Again,
welcome.
are there any items for discussion in these minutes? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Other business. Councilor Sharon first. We've had a discussion prior, so, and anybody else, just please put up your hands.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you are well aware, the city did receive the Prince of Wales Award for the heritage renewal in the community. We had with us the day that it was brought to council, we had the flag of the Prince himself. We had this document which indicated that we had received the award. So those two are there, and now we have another document that comes from the Prince himself. I just read a small part of it. It said, I applaud the city of Thorold for their efforts and hope that they may inspire others throughout Canada to recognize the power of heritage conservation to revitalize and transform communities everywhere. So he's talking about Thorold and its influence on the country, which is something really quite spectacular. The rest of it is really also very complimentary and is written by the Prince of Wales himself. The other thing that came, which we didn't have at the time, is this little plaque. It is solid bronze. It is a fantastic piece of artwork, and certainly is something that we need to have in the right spot in this community to be recognized as an award that was given to the community, and it is given to the community. It is not given to one particular building, it is not given to one particular developer, but or to council, as much as we would like to think it's ours. It's not really ours, but it's for the community in general. And we would like to have ideas come forward to be able to suggest to the city and to council in general where we might be able to put this plaque in order to make it available for not only the people in the community to see it, but tourists who come to this community also will be very interested in reading and seeing this plaque. This, I believe, my personal opinion here, deserves to be in the downtown core somewhere. Where exactly that is, I'm not really sure. But when in the brief discussion we had today with the mayor and I talking about it, and he allowed me to carry this out because he said it would hurt his back, we talked about the fact that it really should be on city property downtown somewhere. Now, how we do that and how we put it in a position so that people can see it easily and read it is part of the question as well. The other pieces are not quite as, let's say, able to handle the weather as this one will, and I believe they should be in City Hall. Ideas that should come forward already. I've talked to staff members and they have an idea of what they might be able to do in this chamber. I've had other people suggest to me that it could be out in the main hallway when you come in. But the three other pieces, the flag and these two documents, should be placed in some way. The flag should be flying, like it should be on a staff. And again, my own personal opinion, and others should come forward with their ideas of how we should see it as well. But when you come into City Hall, these should be prominent, and people should be able to see them. And I think people should be able to stop and read this wonderful document that the Prince of Wales has sent to the City of Thorold, explaining exactly why we won this award. Now, all that being said, we've discussed this with LACAC. That was part of the meeting last night. They have ideas, and I'm sure other people who care about what's happening in the downtown core and other heritage restoration that has taken place must have ideas as well, and we need to hear those. And then those can be presented to council, and council can make a final decision on how it's going to be done. But we need to make sure the citizens of this community recognize what was considered to be the most prestigious award given to a heritage renewal project in the entire country. We are on the same line as Quebec City, Victoria, Charlottetown, these major areas in this country. And we need to make sure that the people who live in this community and those who visit this community actually see this and recognize the importance of this award. So I would like you to put your, as I would say in my old job, put your thinking caps on and come up with some ideas. And maybe we need to take it to our young people and let them bring some ideas to us as well. But it has to be done well, it has to be done right, and we have to be very proud of what we end up with when it's all over. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Well, thank you, Councillor, and thanks for highlighting the importance of that award, how important it is. Okay, other business, Councillor Whalen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I know our city manager's not here tonight. I just wonder if Mr. Dunsmore has an idea of what's happening, the status of our parking situation uptown. If you can bring us up to date with what's happening.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, as you guys are aware, we approved the purchasing of the parking machines and restrictions, including software and enforcement software, and then permit software. Those things have been ordered. We've been talking, I've been meeting with Precise Link on probably 3 times since then. They are in the process of putting those things together, and we will see it in place before the end of the year.
Okay, you good with that? Other business, anybody else? Okay, thank you. I'll move on to bylaws. We don't have any. Notice of motion. Any notice of motions out there? None? Adjournment, Councillor Sharon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That went so quickly I had to change the 7 to a 6. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Ugolini, that this meeting is adjourned at 6:58 p.m.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. With council's permission, I'll move right into general committee, I hope. Okay. Again, councilors, are there any conflicts of interest? Seeing none, I'll move on. We have nothing in the administration's section, nothing in finance operations, DOR 2017-19 budget overrun at Hutt Park. And that's Mr. Stojanovic. Am I getting it right?
You are indeed getting it right. Through you, Mr. Mayor, the report identifies the recommendations that council approves a budget overrun in the amount of $8,000 from the capital asset reserve to rehabilitate the landing beneath the Hutt Park playground structure.
Thank you very much. Can I get a mover for the recommendation? Councilor Ugolini? Are there any speakers? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We're into Development and Engineering Services, DES 2017-77, Weeping Tile Disconnect Project Extension. Mr. Dunsmore.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it's recommended that the 2017 Weeping Tile Disconnection Project budget be expanded to reflect the funding under the Regional CSO program of $106,702 to a total project cost of $206,702 in order to further reduce the wet weather inflow and infiltration into the sanitary sewer system. So concludes the report.
Thank you, Mr. Dunsmore. Can I get a mover for the report? Councillor Hanley? Are there any speakers? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. DES 2017-84, snow removal salting contract to Reinbert Landscape Contractors, Inc., Ellenberg Community Center, 1560 Fall Street. Mr. Duns, Mr. Wild.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the General Committee recommends that the one season, November 15, 2017 to April 15, 2018 snow removal salting contract at the Allenberg Community Center be renewed with Reinbert Landscape Contractors for the amount of $1,754.69 plus HST and $100 per salt application, and that the mayor and clerk be directed to sign and execute the attached agreement. That concludes the report.
Thank you, Mr. Wild. Can I get a mover for the report? Councillor Whalen?
So move the report.
Speakers to the report. Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. DES 2017-86, budget overrun for emergency replacement of ductless split unit. Did I miss one? Okay. DES 2017-85, water distribution quarterly report, January 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2017. That's Mr. Dunsmore.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it's recommended that council approve the report DES 2017 be received for information purposes. So concludes the report.
Thank you, Mr. Dunsmore. Can I get a mover for the report? Councillor Longo.
So move the report.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Okay, DES 2017-86, budget overrun for emergency replacement of ductless split unit at City Hall, 3540 Schmon Parkway. Mr. Wild.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the General Committee recommends that a budget overrun in the amount of $3,975 plus HST for the emergency replacement of a defective ductless split unit in the server room at City Hall be approved. That concludes the report.
Thank you. Could I get a mover for the recommendation? Councillor Pion.
So move it.
Are there any speakers to the recommendation? I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We'll move into the clerk's section, CC 2017-41, amendment to terms of reference for Darlene Ryan, Port Robinson Community Center Board of Management.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the recommendations of the report are that council approve the amended terms of reference for the Darlene Ryan Port Robinson Community Center Board of Management, and that council policy number 100-09 be waived to permit the Darlene Ryan Port Robinson Community Center Board of Management to recruit individuals who are 16 years of age and older to sit as a board member. This concludes the report.
Thank you very much. Could I get a mover for the report? Councillor Hanley.
I so moved the report, Mr. Mayor. And just a quick comment that it was a great meeting that we had. It took a long time to get actually everybody to attend the meeting. It was a full quorum. And we had a young lady there, 16 years old, that's really enthusiastic. Her mother and her family lives in the Port Robinson area, and they're involved in the municipality. And we thought it was great that we seen the interest, just like the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee used to be. And we need to have something for the youth as an outlet, and this was a step in the right place, in the right direction, I think, and starting in Port Robinson East, and hopefully it can expand to other community in the area.
Thank you, Councillor. I'll call the question. Are there any other speakers first? And I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. CC 2017-53, amendment to terms of reference for town and gown. Joanne?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the recommendations of the report are that council approve the recommendation approved at the August 21st, 2017 Town and Gown Committee meeting that would increase the committee composition by 2 at-large members, and that council approve the amended terms of reference for the Town and Gown Committee. This concludes the report.
Thank you very much. Can I get a mover for the report? Councilor Ugolini? Speakers to the report? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. CC 2017-54, 2018 council meeting schedule.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's recommended that the 2018 City of Thorold Council meeting schedule attached as Appendix A to the report be approved. That concludes the report.
Can I have a mover for the report? Councilor Pion?
So move the report.
Speakers to the report. I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We're in the Fire and Emergency Services section. FES 2017-13. Budget overrun, hot water heating system, Station 2.
Through you, Mr. Mayor,
Mr.
that
Dixon.
council approve a total budget overrun of $25,768 plus HST to the Fire Chief's Building Repairs Maintenance Account for Station 2 to cover the repairs of the truck bay heating system at a cost of $17,535 plus HST, and replace a 22-year-old water heater at a cost of $8,233 plus HST. That concludes the report.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Dixon. Or Acting Chief. You gotta get that right.
No.
Acting Chief.
Yeah.
Okay, can I get a mover for the recommendation? Councilor Sharon.
I move the report.
Speakers to the report. Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We have nothing in camera, and we'll move towards adjournment and special counsel, then. Okay. Okay, moved by Councilor Pion, seconded by Councilor Sharon, that we do now rise and enter into special counsel. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councilor Pion, seconded by Councilor Sharon, that the recommendations of the following reports be approved. DOR 2017-19, DES 2017-77, 84, 85, 86, CC 2017-41, 53, 54, and FES 2017-13. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councilor Pion, seconded by Councilor Sharon, that leave be given to introduce the following bylaw. Bylaw number 108-2017, and that the same now be read a first time. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councilor Pion, seconded by Councilor Sharon, that the bylaws just read a first time be read a second and third time and do pass, and that the mayor and clerk do sign and seal the same. Any rule of this council to the contrary notwithstanding. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councilor Pion, seconded by Councilor Sharon, that this meeting is hereby adjourned at 7:09, to be exact. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried.